Everybody, welcome back to another episode of FSi DFS Fantasy Baseball Picks. I'm your host, Meg Ruler 31. Happy Memorial Day weekend. Thank you for all those who have served in the military and all those who fought to keep us free in this country throughout the course of our country's history. We got a 12-game slate here, one weather issue potentially in Coors Field. So let's get into this and get you on your way for your weekend. Texas Rangers, Baltimore Orioles, John Gray and Grayson Rodriguez. No hate Gray here, but I think he's on my no interest here at 8-1. I think there's better plays in the 8K or 7K range. Grayson Rodriguez has been up and down, but so is Texas batting wise. And I think in the mid range that he's definitely playable here at 8-3. Texas bats, I've talked about teams that just are potentially, can put up a lot of runs at some points, but then other points can just be completely dormant. St. Louis is like that. We saw that yesterday. It looked like they're in a smash spot. They had like a 5 total, and they end up winning the game like 2-1, but it's just really disappointing. Texas can be like that also, even having like Seager back in the lineup. So again, they're great GPP, great if you're 150 maxing, but on this large slate, in this matchup, not really looking forward to it. Baltimore, I think that you can play in GPP. They've got the second best record in Rays baseball, right behind the Tampa Bay Rays. They have like better records than like the Dodgers and some heavy hitters. Like they're really starting to put together, really starting to hit. They can match you up lefty, righty. So they're going to have at least like 3 lefties leading off here, and then Frazier in the 5th spot has been doing well. I think Yankee Stadium really helped them. Just the way that it's configured. I don't know how Camden Yards or their field here is going to be, but for him, but I think he's definitely a cheap piece that you can use for a bat. Next up, we have San Diego and the Yankees, Joe Musgrove and Randy Vasquez getting called up from AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre right by me. Musgrove, not interested in against this Yankees team. I think he'd be okay. I mean, he might get like 14 to 16 DK points at 7.5, which isn't bad, but I've just been really scared with some of his performances this year. It's not been very consistent. The wind is blowing in, so it does help a little bit. I just don't like the matchup. Yankees on the other side, Randy Vasquez not really interested. I mean, he's 4K. So if you're a mass multi-entering, then I mean he's not an opener. So he should go like 3-4 innings if he doesn't get absolutely roasted by this Padres lineup. So I think the Padres are my 4th favorite stack here. Yankees, they only have a 4 total, so I'm gonna put them in the GPP section. I think if you are betting, and then maybe you can bet the over on the Yankees. I don't think they're going to win the game, but I think they'll potentially could score more than 4 runs against Musgrove. Next up, we have St. Louis and Cleveland, 2 disappointing offenses. Again, either one of these can put it up at times, but St. Louis more than Cleveland. But Bieber on the mound, I think is going to neutralize them. And Liberatore, I'm willing to take a shot on him. Came up and had a really good first game against Milwaukee. Of course, it was a lefty, and we know the story there. Then struggle his next matchup, but Cleveland, besides Ramirez and maybe Bell on occasion, really don't have a ton of power here. So I think that he's definitely going to be in play in the cheaper range at 7-1. I think you can take a shot there. Bat wise, St. Louis should be leveraged against Bieber. They're over 3.86 total, and I mean they could be a sleeper because yesterday everybody could be off them. So 150 max, they could be the team tonight. Who knows? Cleveland on the other side, only in 150 max also. Philadelphia Phillies, Atlanta Braves. Tijon Walker, Jared Schuster. Neither pitcher really excites me here. Walker gets blown up a lot. The Braves have a 5.2 total, so they're a second favorite stack on the slate here outside of Coors Field, but with the weather issue, I think, they're definitely in play here. And Philadelphia, too, against this young Schuster with their right-handed power that they have. Even lefty on lefty, I'm okay there. So both pitchers are fade. Philly's my top GPP stack. Atlanta, I said, is my second favorite stack on the slate. Blue Jays and Twins here, Gossman and Varland. Gossman's been up and down for the season. Minnesota seems to be a decent matchup, especially with like Gallo and some of these other Kepler and Polanco out of the lineup. It's almost a AAA lineup here. So I think he's definitely in play in the high end And if you want to pay up for a pitcher, I think there's some guys that are cheaper that I'd rather play, but he's definitely, pure point wise could be the highest one on the slate here. Might be the only pitcher over like 20 points. Varland on the other side against this Toronto team. Again, like Toronto is a lineup that is just like St. Louis, which there's a ton of potential, but then sometimes I put up 20 runs and then, they put up 3 the next day. So don't know. Wind's blowing in here. 77 degrees, so it's decent hitting weather. So Toronto is just going to be GPP stack, and Minnesota is in the cheaper range with all the injuries besides Buxton at 5.9. Everybody else is like 2K, 3K, so you definitely can use them for fill-ins if you need them, but I like 2 other cheaper teams better. San Francisco was the one that we really liked yesterday. They did come through with a couple home runs with a couple of the lefties, but other than that, we're pretty disappointing. They get Peralta here, who's been a decent pitcher. It's my favorite one in the medium range at 8.8 here. So I'll probably be playing a lot of Peralta. Alex Wood, I think I'll take a shot on. I know he hasn't gone more than like 3 or 4 innings in most of the starts and has not looked good, but Milwaukee's really struggled against lefties. He's only 6'3", so in GPPs, I'll definitely taking a shot there. San Francisco is probably just like cheap leverage play, not super interested in neither of Milwaukee. So pitchers, Peralta, yes. Woods, GPP, SP2. Bats, no. Too big of a slate, not really interested unless I'm playing 150 teams. Nationals and Royals, Corbin and Lyles, 2 questionable pitchers here. I think you can maybe play Corbin. Like, he has shown a little bit, and Kansas City just is bottom 5 in like WRC plus and all like the batting categories. So I think that it could go either way here. So I'm putting Casey as my favorite cheap stack, but if you want to play the other side of it, I think Corbin's a good, decent, cheap pitcher. If you're playing multiple lines, then hedge it, play both. Washington bats, again, yesterday, I just keep on saying it's a death by 1,000 paper cuts. They, in the 8th inning, they scored 6 runs, and it was single. It was just like everybody got a hit. There were no home runs, there were no doubles. It was everybody that moved everybody around. It was like 8. I mean, there's a couple of like outs in between, but it was pretty much 8 singles. Like 2 guys got on, and then the other 6 guys behind them all like hit singles to score the 6 runs. It's just crazy. So I think they're in play here, and I like Kansas City with some power, especially like Witt and Perez here against Corbin. Coors Field, we have Mets and Rockies, Scherzer and Seaball. I don't trust Scherzer. I just don't think he's right, especially in Coors Field, especially with rain. So especially at 9.2, he's going to be a fade for me. Probably no interest, not a fade, because I think, if you play him in one lineup and he goes out there and has a great game, but the wind's blowing out 13 miles per hour in Coors also, and it's 67 degrees. So if the rain's late, and we've seen him play through it before, and like balls just get hung up in that breeze and just go further than normal. Seaball on the other side is definitely a fade. Mets would probably be my second favorite stack on the slate. If the weather holds up, it's between them and Atlanta. And Colorado, I think it's just going to be because the Mets have decent pitching, would be GPP, and we really have not seen them put a lot of runs together even at Coors this year. Miami Marlins and Los Angeles Angels, Luzardo and Detmers. Miami's coming off of Coors, so that's kind of a letdown here, even though the wind's going to be blowing out in LA. So I think there's going to be adjustment for them. So they're in the cheap category to fade. Luzardo, not super interested in. Angels have been like super dominant against left-handed pitching. They've cooled off a little bit, but I think this is a chance where they potentially could be back there. So this is my third favorite GPP stack. I'll definitely have one of them. Even though Tani lefty on lefty, I think I'm fine with. Reed Detmers on the other side. It's been okay this season. Is the Marlins coming off Coors? I think this is a place where you can potentially play him at 7.7 in the mid range, and you save like you're saving money off like Peralta and Sale, but it's a little bit more secure than Woods for you. Bat wise, like I said, like the Angels, Marlins not interested because they're coming off Coors, and it's like timing and everything just gets so much different with them. Houston Astros and the Oakland Athletics. Hunter Brown here, James Caprillion. Brown, lock him in. I think his favorite pitcher on slate. He's strikeout pitcher. He's against Oakland. They struggle against right-handed batting. Even though they've been better at times, I think if Hunter Brown is going to have a feast here. Caprillion on the other side, I think is going to get lit up. Houston's my favorite stack on slate. CFL Tubi's back from his illness. If not, I might pay up and do double pitchers and just try to take the lefties here and Alvarez and Tucker, and then I can fill in with KC, Washington, and Minnesota. Be a little different, but if you want to go, like, I don't know if I can really get a full Houston 5-man stack in here. I might take Maldonado to catcher. He's cheap. If Altuve's there, then wrap around do Altuve, Bregman, Alvarez, Tucker. But I'm not interested in Abreu. Even though he's got a hit the last couple of games, he hasn't got a 0 at 2.9. Pena, McCormick, Myers are just not super consistent. So, I just have to figure that out. It's like great situation, great total. It makes sense, but like sometimes it's like the Angels, like who exactly are going to play and be able to like the rest of your lineup. Hayes on the other side would only be like a leverage against Brown. We have seen Brown get beat up here and there. So definitely, maybe if you're playing 150, have an A stack or two. But other than that, I would probably not play them on the slate. Boston and the Diamondbacks, Chris Sale against Brandon Fada, Pfaadt. Just call him Brandon. Sale, I definitely like and play here at 9K. He's had some amazing totals recently. And the Diamondbacks, even though they'll throw a bunch of righties in there, and even though it's supposed to be like 110 degrees there, I don't know if they'll have the roof open or not. Probably, which makes it good hitting weather. I think they'll be fine. Really like the Red Sox here against this young pitcher, especially all the lefties they bring. So, I'm definitely going to have a lineup with Verdugo, Yoshida, Devers, Duran, and then, either Cassis or McGuire. So I'll probably go 4 to 5-man lefty stack there for Boston. Arizona, leverage stack the righties here against Boston potentially. Could work out if Sale has an off game. And then finally, you have the lowest total on the slate here. You have Pittsburgh and Seattle. Mitch Keller, who's been decent. Seattle's been struggling recently. Ty France came back to the lineup, but they still have not been like really destroying teams like they did, when they played Oakland and a couple of other ones like a couple weeks ago. So again, this is another team like St. Louis and like Toronto that could go off at any point. I don't like the matchup here. I don't know if I'm going to play 10K for Mitch Keller in cash as a pitcher, maybe in a GPP, like maybe one if he does have a great game. Kirby on the other side, I think I really like as my second favorite pitcher, and maybe a pivot off Brown, or maybe play both of them if you're double barreling, just taking a couple of the big Houston bats and filling in with a KC, Washington, because that works also. And like bat wise, I think, Pittsburgh's definitely a leverage stack against Kirby, and Seattle. I just really not super interested in them here. I don't even think I have them on the board. I don't know how that happened, but they would probably be over here in the 150 max category there. So let's look at some lineups and get you on the way for more Memorial Day weekend. So I'm taking Brown here. Give me Alvarez and Tucker. Give me Kansas City. Garcia, Perez, Witt are the right-handers that I want to focus on. And then, if you want to go Altuve here, that's fine. I think Garcia can play at third base also, or go Bregman, however you want to fill this in. I use Washington guys, also cheap bats. Kirby for pitcher. Peralta, I think, is another safer sale there. If you want to go down the woods, I think it's more of a GPP play, the ones in this range. I'd probably take Brown and Stake, around here for who I want from SP2. FanDuel, Brown, Perez, Duffy, Witt, it's a little bit easier to get them a Houston stack and Kansas City in there. But you have to take a one-off, and it leaves you like a decent one-off to take from another team. So GPP, I'm taking Sale. Give me a Yankee stack with Mets stack with Washington. If it rains out, give me Atlanta. It'll fill in pretty much the same. Where Alvarez, I think, is going to be the top player on, as catcher. He's just been like smashing the ball. Seeing him in Coors Field is going to be so exciting this weekend if he continues to get if he continues to be in the lineup. If not, you can probably go Murphy, Olsen, of Cunha here. Shortstop, you'd have to probably take somebody from another team because Washington shortstop isn't that great. Although Abrams has been hitting a little bit better recently, and you can do a wraparound with him. And then same thing here. Alonso, and I want Peralta or Alvarez in my utility. Peralta up there, and then the Mets. If not, I'm taking Atlanta. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, put them in the chat below. You can hit me up on Twitter at Megro31. Want more information on FSi DFS? It's in the description of the video. You can sign up for a package, get into our Discord, very cheap for, I believe, daily, weekly, monthly, to help you out there. And if these videos help you, please help us back. Like the video, subscribe to our channel, share with your friends. So hope everybody has a great Memorial Day weekend. Probably see you on the flip side of it. I think McKinley will do the video tomorrow, and then we usually take Sundays off just because it's too chaotic to get a video out. But one of us will have Memorial Day, probably me. So again, enjoy your weekend, be safe, good luck in your contest. I'll see you next time.